guys, so today I'm going to share with you all about my pregnancy journey so far. I'm about 25 weeks and I've been meaning to share pregnancy videos, but we've had so much going on. But yeah, I'm finally sitting down and making a video, and we want to share with you how my journey has been going and that everything's great.
So Steffi, tell them how many weeks you are right now.
About 25.
About 25, and your due date is when?
January 26th.
It just happens to be Australia Day. Australia Day.
Could you come sit with me? It's so weird.
No, it's okay.
You don't have to do anything with the camera.
No, I'm here. It's good. How'd you find the first trimester of your pregnancy?
So when I found out, we were actually on our 40-day book tour across the country. And I took a test the day before we left, and it said no. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, we'll try again when we get back, whatever. We tried once, literally. And
I did a good job.
It was a very conscious decision that we wanted to get pregnant, and we were a little discouraged the day before we left for tour. We're like, oh, bummer. We totally thought we were pregnant, but we're not. But that's okay. Totally was. But anyway, so then a couple of, 2 weeks into the tour, we were driving a long stretch. I think it was a 10 or 11 hour drive, and I realized I was getting nauseous, and I never get car sick. I was sitting in the front seat. I was like, this is weird. And then I also was eating something I normally eat, and it tasted gross. And my brother was like, that's a pregnancy symptom. And I was like, no, it's not. It totally is. I didn't know that though. And then I was nauseous again the next day, and a little bit the next day. And
because we were driving a lot.
We were in the car for like 11 hours. And those 3 days were the only days I've been nauseous this entire 25 weeks. The next day after that was the day that we went to climb up the rock, which you probably saw that video when we shared with you all that I was pregnant. That was how I told Adam. I climbed up a gigantic mountain rock thing. But anyway, I was terrified to climb because I didn't know if I was going to be nauseous, because I had been nauseous for 3 days before that. But anyway, long story short, those are the only days I've been nauseous this entire pregnancy. And so what I've wanted to share with you this whole time is that I've been having a great, successful, happy pregnancy. And I know there's a lot of horror stories out there, and I want to be the face of someone who will share with you that your pregnancy might not be a horror story. Like, you might be having a totally great pregnancy someday. And so we want to make sure that we are sharing, we're being very vocal about the fact that I am having a super easy pregnancy. And every time someone asks me how I'm feeling, it's always the same answer. I feel totally normal. Like, I don't even know what else to say. Like, I just feel normal. So in regards to first trimester, Adam, my podcast host, I didn't feel anything else for the rest of the trip. We got home, and like maybe 2 weeks later, so at that point I was like 12 weeks pregnant. For the next 3 weeks, I was very tired in the middle of the day. My family has a theater company, and I was working in the morning and then at nighttime. So it actually worked out, because the middle of the day, I would just lay down, relax. Your body's doing a lot of work, so you gotta honor that. You can't just keep powering through unless you have a job. That's a different story. But I was able to take a nap or chill in the middle of the day. So that was pretty much it for the whole first trimester, right? It was just, I was tired in the middle of the day for a couple weeks, and that was it. Cool.
Now explain to them what you've been eating. What's your diet been like before you got pregnant, and then as you've been pregnant, and what's been happening right now with your food?
I feel like I need a microphone to talk to you. We believe, obviously, as we are a healthy food channel on the internet, we believe that what you are putting in your body is going to reflect what's going on with you. So even before I got pregnant, I was being super health conscious, in a little bit of a different way, because you may have seen my video about my eczema struggles. And so the 3 months before that, before I got pregnant, I was following Joe the Juicer, so I started to juice a lot, and I was following all of Medical Medium's food things. So I added a lot of different supplements into my diet that I hadn't really been taking before. And I was eating a ton more fruits and vegetables. I was healing my eczema, so it was 3 months before the pregnancy, my diet totally changed.
It was basically a raw plant-based diet, basically.
Yeah, it was a raw plant-based diet for the most part, except 1 meal a day. And I mean, even before that, I was eating healthily, but it just switched. I was eating different foods. And I do think that that helped a lot, because since I was trying to clear up my eczema, I was switching my diet, I was meditating more, I was doing all these different things, and that led me into becoming pregnant very easily and just still eating the same way. I took out some of the herbs and supplements just as a precaution, but some of them I'm still taking. And so even now I'm basically eating a raw plant-based diet, except for maybe 1 meal a day. That will be hot food, cooked.
Still plant-based.
But still plant-based, yes. And so I really, truly, truly think that what you're eating is definitely going to affect your pregnancy, but I do know that there are some people who do eat healthy and they still have a rough pregnancy. For me, I think it's also because I was trying to heal my body before I even got pregnant. Now, in that aspect, there are people who are sharing things on YouTube. It's very frustrating for us because they're sharing with their followers that they're having a very difficult pregnancy, and I feel so badly for them that they're having a difficult pregnancy, and I am like so grateful that I am not throwing up every day and nauseous and all those kinds of things. But at the same time, they're also sharing the things that they're eating, and the things that they're eating are not healthy at all. So we want to be YouTubers that are promoting the fact that we're eating healthy. I'm eating healthy.
I'm healthy too.
Yeah, I know, but like, you're not carrying the human.
Oh, okay.
You're not making the human.
Okay.
The one who's making the human is eating very healthy, and I am having no troubles at all. So, actually, it's kind of funny. I wasn't even really showing up until like 2 weeks ago. I got to like 23 weeks pregnant, and I was hardly showing, and everyone was like, "There's a baby in there." We attribute it to my wide hips. We think that the baby's just kind of like sinking in there.
You have childbirthing hips.
I do. That's how I used to comfort myself when I was younger, because I would be like, "Oh, I'm so wide," and then I would think, "It's okay. I have childbearing hips. It's gonna be really helpful one of these days."
Mm-hmm.
So I'm reaping in those rewards now. But up until about 2 weeks ago, I wasn't showing, and now all of a sudden it's like, whoa, there's a baby in there. And I feel like my body also feels the same way. All of a sudden my body, I feel like a week ago, my body just realized, oh, hey, guess what? There is an eggplant or a papaya in this body. Maybe we should respond a little bit. So all of a sudden my bump came out, and I do notice now, like, sometimes it's more difficult for me to start standing up now. Like, so up until about a week ago, so like the first 24 weeks of my pregnancy, I've not had any, like, I just felt normal. But now it's like, oh, okay, now my body realizes that there's a baby in there. So, what else?
How have you found using all the apps on your phone about pregnancy and all of the things that they tell you to do?
So, apps. There are a billion pregnancy apps, and I think that one of the reasons why I'm having a really successful, happy, healthy pregnancy is because I do not pay attention to all of the stuff on the apps and the websites. I don't Google things. I will immediately ask my midwife if I do have a question. I try really hard not to Google, because I swear Google and apps just put stuff in your head. Because I have 3 different apps on my phone right now just because I was curious. Like, and I look at it not because I want information. I look at them because I actually get really angry at them. Yeah. And it's like good to know that there are people who look at these apps and think that they are like, oh my God, whatever this app says is accurate. And like, there'll be polls that say things like, just really negative things towards your body. Like, you know, well, how do you feel now that you look fatter? Like, things like that. And then it's like a poll of like, are you happy that you look like you're gaining weight? It's like, what? Like, why are you even putting that in someone's head, right? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about they tell you how much weight you should gain?
Apps also tell you, and not just apps, but like in general, like there are just things online that tell you that you should be gaining a certain amount of weight. Oh yeah, that's the thing with the apps, is that it's always saying things like making sure that you're eating healthy and not gaining too much weight. And it's always like weight focused. And women have enough issues, and men have enough issues like 24/7 with the idea of like, I can't gain too much weight, I can't gain weight, I always have to lose. Now you're pregnant and you have all these apps telling you, make sure you don't gain too much weight, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just, I think I've checked my weight 3 or 4 times. this whole pregnancy. The first time I gained 1 pound, the second time I gained like 5, and as of yesterday, I've gained 10 in 25 weeks, which is actually under the normal according to some things that I Googled and found out. But anyway, it's just like I don't constantly have this like need to scroll and read pregnancy blogs and see that there are other people who are having this, and this. And my favorite thing about the apps is when they say things like this. It's week 12. You should have headaches, swelling, cramps, blah, blah, blah. And you should stop. You shouldn't be able to sleep anymore and blah, blah, blah. Like all these things. And every time I see any of those, I literally laugh. I'm like, dude, I have none of these things. And it was actually during the tour that I read like in the beginning when I first got the apps, and I saw one and it said like, this week you're gonna have trouble sleeping. And I went, oh man, that stinks. Like, I can't believe that's gonna happen. I don't wanna have trouble sleeping. We gotta like be on the road and stuff. Like I can't do that. And that night I could not sleep. I was wide awake until like 3 or 4. We had to wake up early, 9 o'clock, whatever, to get going on the road. I know, 9 o'clock's not early for some people.
Get out the door by 9.
Get out, yeah.
Check out by 9.
And then I realized, like in the car that day, I realized, oh my God, I didn't sleep because I put it in my head that I wasn't gonna sleep because I read this stupid thing on this stupid app. So that's when I immediately switched my thinking and thought that I'm not gonna, look at these apps in that mindset, thinking like, oh, whatever they say is actually gonna happen to me. Because literally not a single thing, except for being tired, has happened to me. So I'm not letting any of that negative stuff come anywhere near me.
Tell them how you've been journaling each day and writing down your thoughts and how you want the pregnancy to go and how you've been journaling.
Well, just like with any part of your life, you should always be thinking positively and writing things down. So I have a journal, I write things down, I envision how I want things to go. I write things like, this will be a very positive, beautiful pregnancy, the delivery will be beautiful. Like, so I'm always thinking about the future in a positive light rather than reading an app that says, oh, this week you're not gonna sleep. It's like totally different mindset just with anything that you're doing in your lifetime. Like if you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to be healthy, if you're trying to get a job, if you're trying to get more money, like there are always these things that you should be thinking about positively, not I'm miserable, this is not gonna work for me, blah, blah, blah. So like we talk about vision boards all the time. So why wouldn't you do that when you're pregnant too? Like it should be the same thing. Instead of reading all these scary books, I have not touched that What to Expect When You're Expecting book because I don't want to read what they're gonna tell me I should expect when I'm expecting. Because right now I'm 25 weeks and haven't had anything. So, and before we go any further, I just wanna say to any of you who did have a difficult pregnancy, I feel so badly for you, and I do hope that if you do have another pregnancy that it is much more beautiful, and I'm very grateful that I'm having a beautiful pregnancy, and I'm not trying to like make anyone feel badly about theirs. All I'm trying to do is share that a pregnancy can be positive, because one of the YouTubers that we were talking about before, she has like 8 million followers and they're probably all little girls. And all she's doing is I know she's having a difficult pregnancy and I feel badly for her, but in reality, all she's doing is telling all these little girls to be terrified to get pregnant in like 10 years. That's just like, nah. So I want to be the person that says, no, it's okay, you might have a beautiful pregnancy. And that's why we want to start making more videos.
That's right.
So in other videos, we're going to share with you our birth plans and anything else that's going to start coming up, because obviously I'm going to start getting bigger. My body's going to start changing a lot more. Things are going to start happening, and hopefully you'll find that this journey is inspiring and not scary if you've never been pregnant. And I'll also at some point talk about why I finally felt comfortable to get pregnant, because I was one of the people that was terrified to get pregnant. One of the reasons why I stopped becoming so terrified is because I was watching other women be positive about their pregnancies and having beautiful births and just having a very different pregnancy than what we usually hear about on TV, in movies, in media, in books, in everything that is around us. Pregnancy is usually portrayed as a woman screaming her brains out in labor, and like, you don't necessarily have to have one of those kinds of labors. leave comments in the section below if you have questions that I can answer in another video. If there are people who are gonna rant and rave in the comments section, I'm pregnant now and I just don't have, like, I'm pushing all the negativity out of this pregnancy. So if you're gonna leave negative comments, they're gonna be deleted. Just
you're gone.
FYI. So I want to be open with you guys, but at the same time, I do understand that being open is often going to attract crazy comments. But Adam's gonna monitor the comments so that they do not come into my force field because I am being very protective of my space. And I do think everyone should always be very protective of their space, but especially for me right now, I'm gonna have Adam monitor the comments. So please, only loving, happy, positive comments. Leave questions down below and we'll continue this series of Steph's pregnancy journey. So there you go. Have a great week. Bye guys. Namaste.